guy Kyle McCord here, coming off just a bonkers game on Friday night against UNLV. You had us on the edge of our seats, out of our seats, saying a lot of things we probably can't say on the radio, in good, bad, and otherwise. Yeah. Well, how were you guys feeling after that one? That locker room must have been a party when that thing was over.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild back and forth game, and we just kept swinging, and I think that was the biggest thing. I think there were points where things were going our way, and it was great, and then things were not going our way at certain points in the game, but just kept swinging, and to come out with a win like that was huge.
I'd say the biggest thing I've maybe taken away from this team this year through 5 games, and we hear Fran and Dart and the whole thing is like, look at the way the Georgia Tech game ended. They come back and you guys make a play. Even in a loss in the Stanford game, you guys go down and have the 2-minute drill. This game is back and forth. What does it say about your ability to just hang in, you, the team, the whole deal so far this year?
Yeah, I think it's really 2 things. One, a lot of senior leadership, a lot of guys who have played a lot of football and who have been in big games like that, just making sure that everybody keeps their composure on the sideline and just knowing how to operate in games like that. And then I think the other thing is just how we practice. A lot of those situations that came up in the game on Friday are things that we've practiced. Obviously, the 2-minute drill, the overtime, we call it the middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. I think we did a really good job there. So just all situations that we practice, and obviously they're showing up in big games. So I think those are really the 2 biggest things, just the leadership that we have, and then how we practice allows us to be in all those games.
How comfortable are you feeling in the 2-minute drill right now? I mean, we see you score before the half. Obviously, you tie the game up late. We've seen it in other games. How comfortable are you in the team in those spots?
Yeah, I mean, I think that going back to what I was just saying, it's practice that makes us so comfortable in moments like that, and we're not asking myself or any of the other guys to do things that they haven't done. And so when you step on the field in situations like that, it's just going back to your training and just relying on all the reps that you've got in up to that point, and just going out, trusting your eyes, and making it happen.
Team leader in toughness has to be LaQuint Allen. I mean, he had a fantastic game regardless of health, and he was playing at least half the game banged up. 4 touchdowns, the 4th down conversion, the game-winning touchdown. When you see that guy doing that, what's it doing for you?
Yeah, I mean, that is he's an ultimate warrior, and for him to, essentially put the team on his back the way he did there, scoring 4 touchdowns, kept the game alive on the 4th and 1, staying up, and then, scoring the last play of the game to win the game for us. It's, I think that just embodies who he is as a player, and he just wouldn't be denied. There was no shot. He was coming out, like, if his leg fell off, he'd be hopping. Yeah, he'd be hopping around there trying to run somebody over. Like, that's who he is. And so I love playing with him. I know all the guys love playing with him. And when you see someone that is just continuing to fight, I think it kind of lights a fire under the rest of the guys.
Well, we saw him. I think it was maybe the second time he had to leave for a little bit. You seen Willis coming in the game, and like the first play after, I think it was after Deuce's pick, maybe. Yeah. That he rips off a 20-some-odd yarder to the end zone. Where's his development now? His freshman year coming.
Yeah, I mean he does not look like a freshman back at all.
It's a big dude.
Yeah, no, he runs hard, and he's learning. He's a sponge, and that's what I think is really helping him develop at a faster rate. Is just how much he wants to learn. And when I'm talking to him, I can tell, like, he's picking it up and he's studying, and Coach Nixon's doing a really good job of coaching him up as well. And then I think just his raw talent, he doesn't look like a freshman back. And I think the way he runs, he doesn't run like a freshman back either. He runs hard and runs downhill, and he stepped up big time for us on Friday, and to have another back be able to go in the game and play that well, that was huge.
Yeah, so the issues with freshman running backs, it's not usually the running, right? Like, that's usually their skill. We talked, I think, last week about how good of a pass protector LaQuint is for you. That's maybe one of the last things to come along. Where's you seeing in that? Because you got to have faith in him in that, too, to get him out of the field.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was one of the biggest things for him coming in for a running back. Like, you really have to understand protections, and you have to know where the line is going. Then you have to know your responsibility, and you have to be able to see the defense. And, I mean, it happens fast. And obviously, college teams are a step up from high school. And when like especially in third down situations when they have all these crazy packages in and throwing different looks. You have to be good with your eyes, and so he did a really good job of that throughout the week. And then on Friday, made some really big blocks for me to give me some time to stand in the pocket and make throws down the field. And I think I was talking about this last week. Like that obviously doesn't go on the stat sheet, but
Right.
That's super valuable for the team. And I think all the backs have done a really good job of that.
Yeah, if that didn't happen, other stuff wouldn't go on the stat sheet because plays wouldn't happen like that. As we got Kyle McCord with us, our weekly conversation brought to you by Davidson Ford of Clay, Davidson Chevy of Rome. Tales of Aronde Gadsden's demise seem to be exaggerated.
Yeah.
Everything fine.
Yeah.
10 for $142. Like, nothing changed, right? Other than he had a little more room to operate this week.
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, I think people were, freaking out a little bit.
We're good at that.
Yeah, after the last 2 weeks, for him not having the monster games that people are used to. But I said I wasn't worried, and we had a great week of practice, and obviously he had a really great game, and every single time I was looking his way, it felt like he was open, and I think it's a credit to him. He was doing a really good job beating man coverage, understanding in zones when to sit, and made some really big catches, especially down the stretch late in that game. Like that 2-minute drive, he was a monster, and then he ultimately made the catch to kind of set up LaQuint's run there. So, big time players make big time plays, and that's exactly what he did.
He had the first couple catches of the 2-minute drill, if I'm remembering right. How much just to get the drive going? How important is that?
That's the biggest thing. And it was something at Ohio State actually that we talked about. Like the hardest part about any 2-minute drive is just getting it going and getting that first down. And so to start off the 2-minute drive, getting him going, and I think he caught the scramble to the right and took it for 15, 16, 17 yards, something like that, was huge. And I think we were at midfield
quick.
And one play. And then the time doesn't matter as much, especially when you have 3 timeouts and then the 2-minute timeout as well. I think, just getting him the ball early on and that drive was big. And I think, like I said, just made some really, really big plays.
He had 10 catches. LaQuint had 9 catches to go along with what he did running the ball. Trevor had 8. Meeks had 8 catches in the game. You go along with the running game with LaQuint and Willis. How do defenses deal with this now? Obviously, you put 44 up. The answer is tricky. Like when you have these options, what's that doing for you right now?
Yeah, I think if there was a perfect defense, everyone would play it. And I think every defense has their weaknesses in the scheme. And so week 5 going into week 6 now, we've seen a lot of different looks. And I think that the coaches have done a really good job of getting us ready for everything that we might see out there in the field. And then the O-line, I think, played a great game. I don't think enough people are talking about how well they played. I mean, we ran the ball. It's the best we ran the ball all year, in my opinion. And then the pass protection was great. I didn't get sacked once. And so to have that protection and to be able to run the ball like that against UNLV, who was throwing a few different looks at us, I think that's a big credit to the boys up front.
Are you noticing the line gelling? Like, we know it's a bunch of guys that have played a lot of college football, but DeAndre Reed's the only one that started in that same spot here last year. How have you noticed that group change over the last month?
Yeah, I mean, the O-line, it's similar to a quarterback and the receivers. Obviously, I need to have really good chemistry and timing and communication with my receivers, and I think it's similar to with the O-line because obviously the look you get at the snap of the ball, 2 seconds later isn't always the same look, especially on third down when defenses are throwing all these crazy looks and guys are twisting and linebackers are coming and safeties and guys are dropping out, and so they have to do a good job of communicating and passing stuff off. And I see them coming together every single day, and I think the more reps and the more snaps they play with each other, especially in a game scenario, the better they'll be.
All right, we got Kyle McCord here. It is NC State this week, another primetime game. You guys are going 8 o'clock on Saturday night. ACC Network will be the television for that one. What do you make of this Wolfpack team? They've had a kind of an up and down season. We know they were supposed to have a really good year. When you see them on tape, what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of talent across the board. I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to me, especially on defense. They're solid at every level with really good players and guys that have played a lot of football. And so we're gonna have to bring it. And they're well coached. Obviously, I think they've won 8 games in past 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's quite a streak they got going.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been consistently really good, and that doesn't happen by accident. I think that says a lot about how good their staff is and how good the players are. And like you said, it's going to be a primetime game. It's going to be a good atmosphere, and it's going to be a test for us. So we're going to have to bring our A game if we want to win.
All right, looking forward to it Saturday night. Shorter flight home, so that'll be good. You get up back a little earlier to hopefully celebrate a win here this week, then a bye week the next week. All right, Kyle, good luck. We'll talk again in a couple weeks, all right?
Thank you.